Welcome to Mock the Mock, where I take a look at someone else's mock draft and I mock and give you my views, thoughts, and opinions. I got a great one for you today. We're going to be heading to Daft on Draft, taking a look at Corey Kinnan and his mock draft, current draft order in place. Disclaimer, I'm not messing around with any sort of trades, so no trades. That's great. That's awesome. Let's get into it. Pick one, Tennessee Titans go with Arvell Reese, edge/linebacker out of Ohio State. Arvell Reese kind of coming out of nowhere here, right? At the beginning of the year, a guy that no one really watched, wasn't on anyone's radar, and just was phenomenal in the Texas game. Some people were like, let's write this guy down, see how he plays, and he has been phenomenal this season. He does have sub 33-inch arms, and the only way I think he ends up in the top 5 is if teams are viewing him primarily as a pass rusher. Thing is, stupid explosive, great speed, very powerful. He has been very effective as a pass rusher, and I've seen other places have him as potentially the first overall pick. Again, if quarterback isn't the pick and the Titans aren't picking a quarterback, they would have to, this would be a trade up scenario, but no trade. So we see Arvell Reese go to the Titans. On to pick 2, the New Orleans Saints. They're going to go with a Ruben Bain Jr., edge out of Miami. My boy, my dude. I've seen a little bit of hate for Ruben Bain. That's not true. Not hate, but criticism. I get that he doesn't have ideal arm length, and that's not where the criticism lies. But, he doesn't finish sacks. And at the end of the day, pressure is king. Give me the guy that can get consistent pressure, even if he will whiff on the occasional sack. Because I'd rather have the guy that gets pressure than the guy that just gets sacks. If you think about it like a Dante Fowler, who got a big contract from the Falcons, because he was good at cleaning up and finishing sacks. He was a late to the party pass rusher who became the life of the party because he had a high sack total. I need a disruptor. Give me the guy that's consistently creating chaos in the backfield, and that is Ruben Bain. He might not have ideal length, but he's like 6'3". He's 275 pounds. He's girthy, but he's bendy. He's explosive. His hands are so quick. He's got a solid toolbox of pass rush moves. The Saints, currently their most efficient pass rusher this season has been Chase Young, who just got back like a month ago. They need help. Pick 3, New York Giants. They're going to go with CC Francis Maui Noah, offensive lineman out of Miami. Guys, we have a problem with this tackle class. They all got short arms, but they got good movement skills. The thing is a lot, and this is what I've heard, that, and I say what I've heard. This is what I've read from guys like McShay and such, that a majority of the league views Francis Maui Noah as a guard only, that he's not playing tackle in the NFL. If you're a guard, are you going to go this high? I have my doubts. Doesn't have ideal length, but good mover. He would be my top tackle. I would try him at tackle before I send him to guard. If you're the Giants, you just want to get help for Jackson Dart, Giants just freshly fired Brian Daboll. They're going to be on a coaching search now along with the Tennessee Titans. We'll see how all that plays out this offseason, but my prime focus would be wide receiver, offensive line. And then at pick 4, the Cleveland Browns go with Fernando Mendoza, quarterback out of Indiana. He is currently the betting odds favorite to win the Heisman. He is currently the betting odds favorite to go first overall. Right behind him is Ty Simpson. For me, Fernando Mendoza, I think coming off a relatively solid game that had its fair share of criticisms against Penn State. I think, and I saw this comment in my stock report video because I break down his full game. I go through all his throws. And it was like, well, he was good for only one drive. That's not true. Early on in the game, he had a 52-yard bomb where the ball just flew effortlessly out of his hand. Later on in one of the red zone drives, he had a nice scramble and found a guy to check it to towards the sticks for a first down. He had a very nice pass on a out route that was just short of the goal line. I'm not saying he was perfect, but I'm saying the dude had 5 big time throws in this game. They all didn't happen on the last drive. Now, his blitz pickup, his blitz recognition, not great pre-snap. There were some obvious blitzes there. And he would either not set up protection, and typically the center's the one setting up protections and slides and whatnot, but you got your halfback there. You're not going to have him stay back to protect. Then he should be your first guy out. You should know where the blitz is coming from specifically. And once you see that blitz come in, you chuck it. You check it to the running back out of the backfield. That didn't happen. He took 3 sacks on this day. You go to the final drive. Penn State at that point blitzing like crazy. And pressure was immense. He was able to get the job done. Almost had a costly interception. Being hit as he was throwing. Ball just kind of instantly falls between 3 Penn State defenders. And let's not pretend like Penn State's a bad team. Yes, they're a bad team this year for college football, but that is still a team stacked with NFL talent. Let's not forget that. But Mendoza, if you're looking for a franchise quarterback, I think he's your front runner. We love the NFL draft, and now my draft guide is available for purchase. It comes with over 500 player backgrounds and close to 300 player evals. It updates throughout the whole draft cycle. So when I add a new eval or I change my rankings, you're going to be the first to know. It's going to have all the pro day and combine numbers along with analytics, and it's a Google spreadsheet for right now. So you have to include your email with the purchase, but we will be switching over to a website at the end of the year. And if you get it now, it's going to be cheaper now than it will be later. It's a great way to support the channel. And as always, much appreciated, much obliged. Pick 5, New York Jets. Also a team that needs a franchise quarterback. And they're going to go with Ty Simpson, quarterback out of Alabama. Ty Simpson, again, I've kind of already rattled through it. He's currently second in Heisman odds and being the first overall pick. He is probably the most pro-ready quarterback in this class. And that's saying something for a guy that just became a full-time starter this season. But it's what he does pre-snap. The calls at the line, the audibles, getting the ball out quickly and efficiently. Doesn't mean he's been perfect this year. Matter of fact, he's kind of been on the struggle bus the last few games when it comes to passes 20 yards or more down the field, and I'm talking air yards. And it's not like he's been bad this season. I think he's around 47.5% adjusted completion rate. And adjusted completion rate just takes away drops and throwaways and spikes. So it gives you the truest sense of how accurate they are being at all levels of the field. And you look at that, okay, well, he's like 47% for the year. That's solid. You look at the last couple of games, it's been bad. You go back to the South Carolina game. I think he was 12.5% on passes down the field. You go just to the LSU game, 37.5%. So yeah, he's been on the struggle bus in that regard. Now, this is a dude I wouldn't say has elite or great arm strength, but it's good enough for the NFL. I would say it's on par with an NFL arm. I would like to see him get better on those throws down the field. Pick 6. We got Las Vegas Raiders going with the Dante Moore, quarterback out of Oregon. First things first, Todd McShay. He said he has heard from not just coaches, but people close to Dante Moore that he's probably returning to school. And if he is, this could really make or break the draft class when it comes to the first round. Because then your guys are only Ty Simpson, who might come back. I doubt it, though. And Fernando Mendoza. Lenore Sellers, I think, is likely to stick around and transfer. Garrett Nussmeier is coming off consecutive games where he was benched. Though I talked about in the stock report that last game where he was benched, not on him. The game script kind of sucked. You look at John Mateer, who has not been the same passer since hurting his throwing hand and returning. Now he'll get a chance to prove himself this week against Alabama, but he just hasn't been the same guy, and I think he's probably likely to return. So suddenly we're getting thinned out in terms of guys that can go in the first round at the quarterback position. If that's the case, and you're the Raiders, if Geno continues to be as turnover prone as he's been, you're probably going to look elsewhere for quarterback. However, I think, and people got mad at the Kyler Murray trade. And listen, I did a mock draft this week, and I think Kyler Murray is going to be on the market. Does he get traded? We'll ultimately find out later. But I think, hey, let's play with the possibility that he's on the trade market and he actually gets moved. To me, Raiders, if they retain Pete Carroll, they look at Geno and be like, we need better play at quarterback. They're not going to put it on a rookie quarterback. They're going to probably look to invest elsewhere. Remember, Pete Carroll is not there for a long time. He's there for a good time. So for me, the Raiders made sense. Would it be what I do? No. But again, with these mocks, we experiment with different possibilities so we can open our mind and not be too taken back or shocked when things happen in the draft. People in the comment section got pretty mad, though. I can tell. I know all the Raiders fans were hitting that dislike button. All right, Miami Dolphins. They're going with Spencer Fano. Offensive lineman. And again, they're much like CC. They're listing Fano as an offensive lineman out of Utah. He's got sub-ideal arm length. However, he's a great athlete. So maybe you get the whole, okay, well, we saw last year with Will Campbell, might not have great arm length, but we know you can rely on him on an island just because of how great of an athlete he is. Fano's kind of in a similar bucket. The Dolphins, really, you want to help Tua because you're stuck with Tua till 2026. Verdict is still out on if they bring back Mike McDaniel. I'm kind of thinking they might. And just be like, you got one more year with this Tua thing, and if it blows up, it blows up. We're done. But that means you're going to want to get protection. You're going to want to get weapons for Tua. In this case, they go with protection. You could be looking for an upgrade for Austin Jackson, who, since signing an extension, has been either hurt or pretty fine. You have a need at guard. Currently with James Daniels down, you have no good play at right guard. Left guard, Jonas Avenea has been one of the worst guards in the league. It's his rookie year. Hopefully he gets better. But even if Fano ends up playing guard early on, whether you probably want to keep him on the right side. He's been a right tackle his whole career. So James Daniels, who has experience on the left side, you could kick him to left guard. You could have Savanea compete with Fano for the right guard. And I guess eventually if you're pretty content with one of those guys, you could see if they can contend for right tackle with Austin Jackson. So it gives you possibilities, and I'm okay with that. Washington Commanders, they're going to go with Caleb Downs, safety out of Ohio State. So Washington just gets a difference maker. This is a team that needs to get younger, and you look at their defense, and it's the secondary that is just pee-pee, poo-poo, not good. Specifically, right now, it's kind of corner. Everyone's having a down year. Marshawn Lattimore is on season end in IR. I think Trey Amos might be heading that way. It's reported he's got, a fractured fibula. So he could be headed that way. You will be getting back Will Harris at safety. They just opened up his 21-day window. But I never liked that sign-in to begin with. So grabbing Caleb Downs, who can be a legit game changer in the secondary, makes a lot of sense to me. But before we get to pick 9, let me talk about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Download the app. Sign up with the promo code BROSHMO. They match that first deposit up to $1,000. You do is the best place to play weekly best ball Or you can do pick'ems, higher or lower on player stats. You can mix and match, whether it be football, hockey, basketball, Quidditch even. That's right, I said it, Quidditch. You could make that all a part of your pick'ems. They have promos each and every day, so let your first promo at Underdog Fantasy be signing up with promo code BROSHMO. But as always, play responsibly and play within your means. Pick 9, Los Angeles Rams go with Jermod McCoy at a Tennessee corner. Yeah, you look at the secondary, be like, okay, corner's probably an area they can add. They got a lot of free agents. I think Witherspoon. You got Durant as a free agent. You've got a solid play out of Forbes, but yeah, you probably want to. We've yet to see Roger McCreary take the field for the Rams, so who's also a free agent, by the way. So yeah, I could see them going corner. McCoy, he was a top 10 player for me entering the year. People are dropping him just because he hasn't played yet, coming off the ACL injury he suffered in January. I've dropped him a little bit. Not much, though. He is still around that. He's still, I think, my corner 1. I want to first wait and see when he takes to the field. Is he the same caliber of athlete that we saw in 2024? Pick 10. Cincinnati Bengals go with Peter Woods, defensive tackle out of Clemson. Woods certainly, I think, is worthy of a top 10 pick. Just kind of a freak athlete at 6'3", 315. Absolute havoc creator. And at the end of the day, Bengals, they have no one that can wreak havoc on that defensive line outside of Trey Hendrickson, who is a free agent. Peter Woods would be a guy that could wreak havoc. Arizona Cardinals, first wide receivers off the board, Jordan Tyson out of Arizona. Guys, literally the only pause with Tyson are the injuries. None of them correlate. You have broken collarbone last year. Prior to that, the ACL. This year, he's kind of been hampered by a hamstring injury. So that could be a red flag. I don't know what you're going to criticize about his on-the-field play, because his on-the-field play tells me he's a blue chip wide receiver in this class. He be that good. Get to pair him up with Marvin Harrison Jr. The Dallas Cowboys, they go safety, Sonny Styles, linebacker out of Ohio State. Cowboys got to figure out how to free up a lot of cap space. That could probably involve Logan Wilson being moved off of after this season. We'll see. They traded for him. Well, do they view him as a long-term answer? We'll find out. They're about to get Overshown backs, hopefully, by Thanksgiving. And then you got like Sanborn, Kenneth Murray, guys that you look at and it's like, yeah, y'all shouldn't be starters. They're all free agents. So if they want to dip into the linebacker class, it makes sense to me. I wouldn't mind them going after another edge player. That would probably be where I would want to go. David Bailey here would make a ton of sense for me. But we shall see. It should be a defensive heavy draft for the Cowboys. Baltimore Ravens go with Carnell Tate, wide receiver out of Ohio State. Okay, I'm shocked. I'm a little taken back by this. I mean, D-Hop's a free agent. Not that he's kind of been a mainstay there, a wide receiver. They have Rashad Bateman, but he's firmly a wide receiver 3. You have Zay, but Carnell Tate gives you something a little bit different. Honestly, a skill set similar to Bateman, just better. Tate's had a wonderful season. He is among 3 wide receivers in my top 10 when it comes to my big board. That video was released last week. Check it out. But yeah, no, I kind of like this for the Ravens. Pass rush also should be high up there. Minnesota Vikings go with Mansour Delane. Corner out of LSU. This is kind of a easy projection for the Vikings. Typically, most people are like, yeah, no, they could use another corner. So they get them another corner. Not really much to talk about here. Delane's been wonderful. Houston Texans go with Caleb Lomu, tackle out of Utah. So in this move, I assume you move Ariante Ursary either into guard or over at right tackle. Titus Howard's shown he could play tackle or guard. So this just gives more flexibility and adds more star potential to your offensive line, which probably has been the weakest unit on this team. Carolina Panthers, they go with CJ Allen, linebacker out of Georgia. Technically, potentially the first linebacker off the board here. Allen's been really good this season. He's kind of a fringe first rounder for me. I'm also a guy that doesn't love linebackers in the first round. Excuse me, Sonny Styles came off the board. So this is the second linebacker taken. Man, you look at the Panthers offense and something needs to be done at quarterback. It just does. I'm kind of done living in this, like, will Bryce Young click eventually in Carolina? We've seen moments, but those moments are too few and far in between. I know 3 quarterbacks are off the board here. You go Lenore Sellers. I think if he is available in this class, you probably do. Just do something, or else Bryce Young is going to cost Canals his job. It's kind of where I'm at with it. Kansas City Chiefs at pick 17 take Jeremiah Love, running back out of Notre Dame. Kind of the obvious one. If he makes it all the way here, if Love is available, I think he probably goes in the top 15. The question is to who and where. We'll find out. I've literally played around with a ton of different landing spots for Jeremiah Love in my mock drafts. There will be a market for him, but this would just be an embarrassment of playmakers for the Chiefs. San Francisco 49ers go with Blake Miller, tackle out of Clemson. Okay. I'm going to read this one. Clemson offensive tackle Blake Miller had day 3 grades coming into the season from NFL Scouts. His tape has been an incredible improvement. I still think the play strength has not been good for him. For a 49ers team that has really dipped into gap blocking over the last couple of years, I don't think I like the pick. I think Blake Miller is firmly like late day 2, early day 3. Does he get pushed up because of, well, we need guys that actually check boxes at the tackle position in this draft class? I could see it. I'm not taking him in the first round, though. Though the Niners, yeah, tackle feels like an option. Pick 19, Mekhi Lemon going to the Cleveland Browns. So they get their franchise quarterback and they get a weapon for him. I love Mekhi Lemon a ton in this class. He is one of those 3 wide receivers I have in my top 10. I'm a sucker for after the catch targets. He is that, but he does so much more. Such a smooth route runner. He gives me he's 5'11", 195. So not big, but not small. I don't think he's someone that's going to have to stick to being in the slot, because he's kind of has a little bit of that Steve Smith nastiness to his game. I really like it. Pittsburgh Steelers go with Avion Terrell, corner out of Clemson. Not really the archetype when it comes to a Pittsburgh Steelers corner. I'm not saying the lack of size just knocks him out of the first round. I just don't think he's for everybody. He's not going to be every team's cup of coffee, especially a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Terrell, for me, I just think more times than not, he's going to be a slot for an NFL team, which, hey, it's a starting position in the NFL. But yeah, I kind of have him as a fringe first. Interesting pick here. Buffalo Bills go with Caleb Banks, defensive tackle out of Florida. This one's interesting. Now, he hasn't played much this year, but no one's going to deny the traits at like 6'6", 330, incredible length, very good burst. Bills have gotten really good play from Deion Walker. And sure, you could argue, well, we need more guys next to him. I don't know if Banks is the guy that I want, though. I'd be probably looking for more of a run stuffer, and I just don't think that's a great part of Banks's game. Huh, interesting. Chicago Bears go with Keldrick Falk, edge slash DT out of Auburn. This actually would have been my pick for the Bills, and I would have kicked him inside. He's probably the best run defender on the defensive line in this draft class. The Bears, Dennis Allen, he loves his thickum pass rushers. Keldrick Falk is a thickum edge rusher, so makes sense. Tampa Bay Buccaneers go with David Bailey, edge out of Texas Tech. Ooh, he falls here. Phenomenal value. He kind of fits the archetype of current edge rushers for Todd Bowles. Basically, guys that aren't dump trucks, they're Ferraris. That's right. I say that word that way. Some of y'all say pecan. Some of y'all say pecan. I say Ferraris. I don't know why. I know it's wrong. I can't help it. But you get what I'm saying. He wants fast cars as pass rushers. David Bailey is an exceptionally fast car. Detroit Lions go with Caden Proctor, offensive lineman out of Alabama. Let's go to Caleb Lomu real quick. Okay, no, he specifically listed some of these guys as offensive tackles. I just wanted to make sure he's not listing every offensive lineman as an offensive lineman, if that makes sense, if he was specifying. But no, he thinks Proctor could kick inside. Some people, they don't like the footwork. They think it probably works better inside. And listen, if you're a team that's taking Caden Proctor as a guard, don't have a short quarterback. Just don't. I hate 6'7" guards, specifically because of that height and pass protection. So I think Proctor would be solid here. He'd compete for the left guard position because Christian Mahogany went down recently. Maybe you still hold out hope that Proctor could be a tackle and maybe an heir apparent to Taylor Decker. I think you kind of potentially kill two birds with one stone. Kind of, sort of, but not really because, well, Proctor can't play both positions, but it gives you versatility at both those positions. Pick 25, Dallas Cowboys finally get their pass rusher in Cassius Howell, edge out of A&M. They have Howell up to, I've seen he's around 250, 255. We'll find out in the offseason. The arm length is abysmal. Some have verified sub 31-inch arms. I don't think they're sub 31-inch, but we'll find out. However, the Cowboys, they just traded away a pass rusher with short arms who just consistently got after it. I'm not saying Cassius Howell is the next Micah Parsons, but I'm saying a team, I don't think they're going to be scared of arm length. I just don't. Los Angeles Chargers take Vega Yawane out of Penn State. Vega, nice guard here. They need a left guard. Zion Johnson's a free agent. Even if they bring him back, maybe you make the transition to center because he's not been great at guard. Vega, he checks a box. He helps not just protect Justin Herbert, but he also helps out in the run game. What? Okay, Los Angeles Rams go with Kenyon Sadiq. So I get that the Rams run a lot of 12 personnel. And I mean, in this case, you're reuniting Terrence Ferguson and Kenyon Sadiq, two Oregon tight ends. But I don't think this is the pick I'm making in the first round. I mean, the value is great. I love Sadiq. I don't love this pick in the first round. New England Patriots go with a wide receiver and Chris Bell out of Louisville. I love Bell a lot. Again, I'm sucker for guys that are good after the catch, but also he brings a unique body type as a vertical speedster at 6'1", 227, but he's got that speed. I mean, this is what more of the Kayshon Boutte role, and Boutte's been pretty solid. I don't know. I think Mike Vrabel is probably going to want a defensive heavy draft. Doesn't mean you have to go defense in the first round, but I think it'd be a nice start. Philadelphia Eagles go with Mateo Uiagalelei out of Oregon, edge player. They are going to have to decide if they want to re-sign Jalen Phillips After the game he had against the Packers, I think you're re-signing him. I just do. Mateo, he's still a bit raw. You've seen a bump up in terms of production, but it's still not, I think, good enough or elite enough to warrant first round consideration. You could also say, well, the tools are so good at 6'6", 270. You love the length. You love the play strength, the explosiveness at that size. So you could also just be like, well, production right now to be danged. Let's go ahead and bet on the traits. Denver Broncos go with Casey Concepcion, wide receiver out of Texas A&M. I love Concepcion, man. I really, really do. Twitched up, great after the catch, has expanded the route tree, has been a good deep target. Just does a little bit of everything for you. I think he's still, for me, firmly day 2, maybe borderline top 50. Actually, where do I have him? I don't think he's in the top 50, but I think he's around the top 50. Let's see. Yeah, he's around the top 50 for me. So I like that the people are starting to get a little more excited about this wide receiver class. Seattle Seahawks go with Keith Abney, the second corner out of Arizona State. It's so nice to see someone else turn on the hype train that is Keith Abney. I think he's a sure first rounder. This is also a team in Seattle that needs more consistency at corner. To be fair, they've dealt with some injuries, but Rick Woolen, free agent, Josh Jobe, free agent. You're going to need someone there on the outside. And then last but not least, Denzel Boston, wide receiver out of Washington, going to the New York Jets. They get someone to pair up Garrett Wilson with for their franchise quarterback in Ty Simpson. I would be tempted just to take Jeremy Bernard since he has a relationship, working relationship with Ty Simpson, who they drafted in this mock. But Denzel Boston, different type of wide receiver. He's built well, but he's not just a possession receiver. He's not just a big body downfield guy. He's got some speed to him, so watch out. But there's the mock draft. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Why did I say it like that? I don't know. But that's it for the video. Go ahead, do that YouTube thing. As always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.